as well is Adani Group indirectly acquiring a 29% stake in news media brand NDTV. They've also launched an open offer for an additional 26% at 294 rupees per share, totaling 493 crore rupees. The open offer price is at a 20% discount to NDTV's current market price, and a lot of people are calling this a hostile takeover. Karan Tarani, the Senior Vice President Research Analyst at Elara Securities, is joining us now, who's tracked the space very closely. Karan, a lot of people perhaps saw this coming because we've seen the way the stock price has zoomed, right? So let's get that out of the way first. On the stock itself, what's your view after the big rally that we've seen in NDTV?
I think if you look at the valuations at which this company has bought, it is at a very hefty premium, and the prices also maybe would have moved, because of that kind of speculation which was building around the stock. So currently, just to give you some math here, the valuations are at almost 20 times PE from a 1-year forward basis. If you look at for something like an NDTV, and this is at a huge premium versus peers. So if you look at something like a TV today, they are trading at almost 6.5, 7 times PE. If you look at the larger peers, which are into the GEC space, which is a much larger market, they are trading at anywhere close to 12 to 14 times on a 1-year forward PE basis. Similar numbers are there on an EV sales basis as well. So the valuation has come at a very huge premium. And this is, despite this 20% discount assumption, which is there, over the current market price. So I don't see valuation sustaining from medium to long-term perspective because news as a genre, as a market, is very small. It is only about 10% of the overall ad spend pie for the TV industry. It is definitely growing at a faster clip, whenever there are elections, state elections, general elections, at about 10 to 12% kind of a number whenever there are elections. And excluding that, there is a steady 10% CAGR, which is possible. But because the valuations are so premium, I don't see them sustaining over the medium to long term.
Karan, good morning. Does it ever, make you wonder what makes people go after these assets? And it, as you said, pretty expensive. Perhaps do not make as much money. But is it, what is it about, say, an NDTV that that would have got, Adani so interested in an asset like this?
So, maybe I think, firstly, this market is also highly fragmented. So it is not only NDTV, which is there. There are many of the news channels up for the offering here. And the news genre specifically has now become a market which is like a winner takes it all market, because currently, we are moving towards selective viewing. We are moving because of NTO 2.0, a lot of regulations which have come in over here. And distribution has also become a challenge for news channels because they've always been piggybacking on the FTA part. Now, to the logical reason in terms of why is that expensive valuation, I mean, that could be the best answer, given by the Adanis themselves. But clearly, news is one segment which has got very low threat of digital. So if you look at news genre specifically, I mean, the consumers want to watch it live as compared to a GEC or any other genre wherein they can do more of catch-up TV content. And a lot of the eyeball shift is happening from TV to digital for other genres, which is not happening from news genres. So that's one big advantage which news has got versus other genres. I think the second big advantage is that, the news market as such in terms of digital side is much better as compared to other broadcasting plays in TV. So if you look at other broadcasting companies like Z, Sun, even Food, Viacom, Food for that matter, they all have to invest a lot of money into their own app, and that is like a huge, cost, in terms of the high content cost which they incur, the tech cost, the distribution cost. So news that way is a business model on digital which is kind of platform agnostic, and you can actually showcase your news content across multiple platforms and make really good amount of money and growth. So just to give an example here, TV today, which is there, they drive close to 18 to 20% of their revenue from digital segment. And their revenue on digital segment has grown by 35% CAGR in the last 3 to 4 years. So these are two reasons in terms of why news genre is so compelling and better as compared to other genres on the TV segment.
Karan, hi, good morning. Is this a bit of a peculiar situation? So should we, this particular transaction, and then if that is so, is it right to attribute the same multiple 3.5 time forward sales? I think you put out in your note. I mean, those kind of multiples to where other television assets should trade at. I mean, should one do that, or you think this is one of its kind or whatever? I mean, a peculiar situation.
I think this is one of its kind. So I don't see, the other broadcasting companies, moving up 2.5, 3x in terms of share price. In fact, It's the other way around. NDTV could see a sharp correction over a period of time because, as I told you, broadcasting as an industry is not growing more than 7 to 8% in terms of CAGR. There are multiple regulations on ARPU as well because of NTO 2.0. There is a huge overhang on the industry as a whole because of the eyeball shift to digital. And the digital OTT market is very fragmented. There is too much to do there in terms of content investments. So I think it's the other way around. I think NDTV valuations will probably move to more realistic and will probably move downwards over a medium to long term basis.
Karan, since we have you on, just a quick word on PVR as well, which is something you track closely. Has it fallen enough?
I think there is a certain amount of 5 to 10% downside on PVR which could come in. But as pointed out in our earlier discussions as well, the merger is a very big trigger. So I think you will always find respite, for PVR as a stock because the synergies from the merger are going to be very big. And in terms of consolidation, it's like a very huge opportunity for both these companies.
Okay, Karan, thanks for joining in and giving us your views. That's the big story in the media space. Let's slip into a quick break. On the other side of the break, we'll come back with the pre-opening rates. Also, the IT space has been in focus on the back of downgrades that have taken place, companies holding back on variable pays. Ankur Rudra of JP Morgan will be joining in to discuss.